Alright, big idea number 5, proofs. Alright, so it says complete the 2 column proofs. So let's get started. Now remember, what you're trying to prove always goes last, so go ahead and place it there. So we're trying to prove that triangle STV is congruent to triangle SRV. Alright, now the first thing that was given to us was that SV bisects TVR. So remember, the first thing we want to do is we want to label all of the givens. So SV is going to bisect angle TVR. Now remember, bisect means to cut in half, so we are cutting TVR into 2 smaller congruent angles. So with that being said, this is congruent to that. And again, that's because SV bisects this angle. Alright? What we were also told was that TV is congruent to RV. Okay? Now there's one more piece of information I can label, and I can label that SV is congruent to SV. Okay? Now I'm going to take this information and I'm going to separate my 2 triangles. I'm going to put a space in between them so I can see my information a little bit better. This is congruent to that, this is congruent to that, and this is congruent to that. So this is SVT, SRV. Alright, so let's write down our givens. What was given to us was that SV bisects angle TVR. Okay? And what was also given to us was that TV is congruent to RV. Now, going back to our first given, because we found out that SV bisected TVR, we were able to label that this angle was congruent to that one. So let's write that down. Angle TVS is congruent to angle RVS. Now, why were we able to say that? Well, we were able to say that because, again, SV bisects TVR. So going to your yellow card, I'm going to say I see bisects here, so I see a larger angle being bisected right there. Now, we just wrote this statement right here. And the reason we were able to write this statement was because of the definition of an angle bisector. So, definition of an angle bisector. Alright, so looking at this picture, as is there a triangle shortcut that we can use? Oh wait, there's one more thing, I'm sorry. The last thing we labeled was that SV was congruent to SV. So SV is congruent to SV. Again, going to your yellow card, when I see something like that, that is the reflexive property. Alright, now, can we say, going back to what I was going to say earlier, can we say that these 2 triangles are congruent the way they look? And my answer is going to be yes, because I have a side, an angle in between them, and a side. So side, angle, side, side, angle, side. So triangle STV is congruent to triangle SRV by side, angle, side. Alright, next proof. Again, take your proof, bring it all the way down. Triangle QUD is congruent to triangle ADU. Alright, now let's go to the top and we're going to mark our givens. So they told us that QU is parallel to DA. It told us that DQU is congruent to DAU. Alright, now looking at the picture, I see two triangles. So if you want, you can separate them, or we can use them as is. I'm going to go ahead and use them as is. And the last bit of information I can write down is that DU is congruent to DU. Alright, so right now I have an angle and I have a side. That's two pieces of information. I need a third one to prove that these two triangles are congruent. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to label the alternate interior angles. A pair of alternate interior angles are this one and that one. Alright? And when I label those, I create now a third piece of information, and that is an angle. So, angle, angle, side not included, angle, angle, side not included. So, I'm going to use that piece of information to write down my proof. Alright? So, given QA is parallel to DA, okay, and DQU is congruent to DAU. Okay, and that's because they were given and given. Now we can state that DU is congruent to DU because of the reflexive property. Alright, and then we can also state that angle QUD is congruent to angle ADU because they are alternate interior angles. Now again, because of angle, angle, side not included, angle, angle, side not included, these two triangles are congruent. Alright, last one. AM bisects angle BAC. Okay, I'm going to take my proof and I'm going to bring it down. Angle ABM is congruent to angle ACM. Alright, so it says AM bisects BAC. So AM bisects BAC. So it cuts that angle in half. So that's congruent to that. We can say that AM is congruent to AM. And they told us that AB was congruent to AC. Again, if you need to separate them, you can. Just remember to mark all the information in the correct spots. This is congruent to that, that's congruent to that, and this is congruent to itself. Alright? So, let's write a proof. First thing we were told was that AM bisects angle BAC, and we were told that AB is congruent to AC. Alright? That was given and given. We also marked that AM was congruent to AM because of the reflexive property. Alright, so with that being said, I can conclude that these two triangles are congruent because of side, angle, side, side, angle, side. So, triangle BAM is congruent to triangle CAM, because of side, angle, side. Now, since these two triangles are congruent, that means that all of their corresponding parts are congruent as well. So, angle ABM is congruent to angle ACM because corresponding parts in congruent triangles are congruent.